So tonight the Lakers fell to 17-19, which is just a huge shocker, honestly, for me, just within the way they started this year. Obviously, they're the in-season tournament champs. They had that great 7-0 run through that tournament, didn't lose a game. Their record was looking pretty good. They were kind of sitting around fourth or fifth in the West for the majority of it. And then just all of a sudden, out of this past stretch, they've been 3-10 since winning that in-season tournament. It's been bad, and there's some wrong. There's something really wrong with the Lakers right now. And you've been hearing the backlash of Darvin Ham. You've been hearing about possible trades, DeJounte Murray, Zach LaVine possibly coming in. But I think it's pretty clear what a lot of the issues are after watching that game against the Grizzlies last night. A game where through the first, I'd say, like 22 minutes, it looked like they had that game. It looked like they've completely had that game on lockdown. And then slowly before halftime, they let Memphis get back into it. And then at the end of the game, they just imploded. And, I think some things you got to realize is, Austin Reeves, he's the third best player on this team. It's not entirely close. He's easily the third best player on this team. He's a solid player too. That you have two stars and one very capable player, but the issues are there are some bad lineups that you see in there. Like Cam Reddish should not be playing as much as he is. He does a few things right, but not enough things right to win games. Just his shot's not that dependent. His defense has not been great recently. I would move on from him in some sort of trade if they can within this off season, but I think he's getting a bit overplayed. And then some of it, they're kind of in an identity crisis right now. Where's their defense? Their defense, that was a staple of this Lakers team last year through the end of it, was their unbelievable defense, best defensive team in the NBA, I think, towards the end of that playoff run. And this year, it's just like their defense just isn't showing up at all. And you'll see decent stretches on offense. Now, a lot of the times, people aren't hitting their shots. Taurean Prince, though, I don't think he's the problem. I think he hits enough of his shots to the point where it's not a problem. But I think they're kind of in an identity crisis right now. The defense is just not what you would expect at this point. And another big problem with the Lakers is just as well on offense. They'll go stretches of games where they just can't score. They just can't score for certain stretches of games at all. They'll go cold, and then the other team will come back into it. And usually they can still win games by doing that, because their defense has been so good, so they can match it. But with the defense playing the way it is right now, that's going to lead to a lot of losses. And now you have to kind of get to a point here where they got to turn this around. They're sitting at 10th in the West right now, on their way to 11th, 17-19. They started this year pretty darn well. It would be a big shame if they didn't at least finish with the 5th or 6th seed. If they have to go to the play-in tournament, it's going to be a big issue. Again, if you're them, you got to at least get the 4th, 5th, or 6th seed. And they are not in the direction for that right now as we get to closer to mid-January. They're just not there. So they're going to have to figure it out, eternally. I think Darvin Ham is the guy to be the coach. Some of his lineups are questionable, but, I think that he is the guy. I think that, they need to give a little bit more effort, because I think a lot of them are in the mode, especially LeBron as well, that you're waiting for the postseason. You're waiting for the games that matter. That's why they did so well in the in-season tournament, that they don't feel like these games matter. But now you're getting to a point, if you're these Lakers, you got to start winning these games. So I think there's effort problems out there. I think there's offensive issues where they go on that you don't have enough dependable shooters. And I think they're losing their identity a little bit on defense. And, I think these are all fixable issues, but I think that you got to move around a few pieces. You got to realize who you have that is a good asset. And they just really LeBron's got to really take lead of this team. He's got to be like, guys, we got to win more games. So that's the state of the Lakers right now.